Diaries, brought to you in collaboration with Stanford Seed Transformation Network, Nigeria. And it comes your way every Tuesday morning at 8:30 and runs all the way till 9. This morning we'll be trying something new here on Seed Diaries. Our guest couldn't make it to the studio, so we'll be talking to him via Zoom. And this morning we have with us the Managing Director and CEO of COURE System, Software and System Limited, and Information Technology Solutions Provider. Good morning. His name is Uche Onwudiwe. Good morning, Uche.
Good morning, Ifeanyi. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. It's good to have you here.
Thank you. And apologies for not being able to make it to the studio. Just trying to be cautious for the things going on today.
Oh, yes. I mean, thank God for technology. That's a plus. That's a plus for us.
Exactly.
That's a plus for us. So, COURE. I've noticed that COURE is COURE. Is there a reason why?
Well, to be honest with you, when I was trying to start up the company, I was trying to think of a name for the company.
Yes.
And at that time, I'm not the most creative as far as coming up with names. So the letters in the word are actually the initials of all my siblings.
Oh.
So with the U being myself in the middle.
Okay.
And funny enough, the U is actually silent. So
yes, that's quite interesting. When was it established, this company?
The COURE was actually established initially in 1998 in the U.S. We did work IT consulting services for about 10 years in the U.S. and then moved back to Nigeria in 2008 and picked up from there. Coming back to Nigeria, we focused more on the telecom side of things. And we've been doing network and systems installation, cabling, but most recently, our most recent pivot, so to speak, is data management and provision of data to various sectors, such as the telecom, value-added services, the banking industry. So in essence, we consolidated or we centralized data access that service providers need for routing, fraud prevention, and KYC type services. KYC being like know your customer.
Yeah.
So we provide data in a seamless manner to companies.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Before COURE, there was an Uche Onwudiwe. Who was the Uche Onwudiwe before COURE?
Well, before COURE, the Uche Onwudiwe was working as an IT consultant in the U.S. And before that, he was in college, so finishing up his master's. So I started the company about 4 years after college. I'd finished my master's and then I'd done some work in the IT industry. And at that time, the IT industry was really just picking up and it was really just based on your skill sets. So I was able to start the company there. And then we worked for a while in the U.S., like I said. Then after a while, my family and I decided that it was time to come back home. Looking at the skill sets that we had and what the company could do, we figured, you know what, it's something that's transferable and we can do back in Nigeria as well. So we came back and did that.
Okay. Funding for COURE, how did it come? Did you get investors or you funded it from your pockets?
Funded from my pocket. So, and that was the beauty of IT at that time. And even now, at least it's something that's based more on your skills. So for the most part, it's easier to fund. It's not easy, but it's easier to fund than some other businesses where you require a lot of capital.
At what point did your relationship with Stanford Seed begin?
It actually started around 2012, 2013. A friend of mine in Nigeria, of course, recommended the program to me. And so I got the application, looked through it, was wondering what I would do, if I would qualify. At that time, I was actually doing consulting for another telecom company in Nigeria. And so I actually joined the program as, with that company's name as opposed to with my company's name. But in 2015, I left the company and I was able to continue my relationship with the Stanford Seed program because of that, because it's really tied to the individual who comes through the program and then the company.
Okay. What were the things they looked out for back in the day? In 2012, for example, what were the qualifications they were looking for?
It's similar to what they're looking for now. They're looking for companies who could scale, looking for companies whose business model, business operations could make an impact. And with the telecom company I was working with at that time, they were definitely looking to scale across Africa and make an impact as far as the telecommunication services they could provide. So we were able to get into the program with that on that basis. And then based on my role, I was the chief operating officer at that time there. But then even after I left the organization, because of what my company is doing now and how we're trying to consolidate and extend data across Africa, we're still an interesting party, so to speak, for the Stanford Seed program.
Okay, we hear a lot about coaches in the program. Do you want to tell us about your coach?
Yeah. Okay. The coach I have is Bill Skull, and funny enough, even though I'm a member of I'm a member of the first cohort back then. I still speak to him at least once a month, and he's kind of person that he can give good feedback as to kind of the issues you're going through. And like the other companies who have been on the program I've mentioned,
yes,
the coaches are people who have been experienced in business, who have in essence been there, done that.
Okay.
And they have different experiences from larger companies, so they're able to provide advice and provide kind of guidance on the things that we should look out for as we grow and as we scale our companies.
Not necessarily in your line of business.
Yeah, no, they're not necessarily in my line of business, but my coach actually has a number of skill sets that help parts of my business that actually need help at this time. So he's actually a very good fit. And even when he wasn't providing specific advice, just the general business understanding or just general business insights that he had was definitely able to help us kind of guide and look for the proper strategy. So they help ask you the proper questions. They aren't like yes men, yes women, so to speak. They make sure they poke at the areas where they see that there could be some problems and make you answer those questions. So that by you answering the questions, you can improve on your business, you can scale your business, you can see the areas that the potential traps that may slow you down if not properly prepared for.
Yeah, okay. You mentioned something about impact. And how much impact has the program had on your business?
It has had a huge impact in that it is while we were providing services and we knew we needed to grow, it kind of gave us the push to say, okay, you know what? Why are you waiting till a certain time to do this growth? Put these things in place, put certain strategies in place, and start the growth now. So it was definitely a program that helped us see that there's nothing wrong with growing now. And once you put the things in place, start the growth. Bring on the resources that you need and start the growth. Don't wait for it. So that's something that the program really helped us with.
Okay. But we just mentioned impact on your business. What about impact on the larger society? How has that helped?
The program, as far as impact on larger society, I know some of our other Seed Diary members have talked about our suite programs, where we help coach and mentor younger entrepreneurs or younger startups. And on the impact on the industry, on the larger environment, we also support a lot of different activities, whether it's a CSR, corporate social responsibility types. There are a lot of folks who do mentoring. There are a lot of folks who do coaching, a lot of folks on boards of different companies, a lot of volunteers. A lot of the companies, volunteer their staff volunteer their times towards different activities. So because of the goal of having an impact on your community, the directors, the owners of the businesses are a lot more aware. And even if they were doing it before, they kind of scale up the level of involvement that they provide in the community from their businesses. So a lot of the folks you talked to have spoken about how they invested in their local communities, how they supported and how they give back. So that is definitely something that the program teaches us, or not necessarily teaches, but encourages that we do.
Okay. But what is COURE working on right now?
What is COURE working on right now? Right now, we're looking to acquire access to additional data across the continent. As you may be hearing now, data is the new black gold, access to information. We're a mobile continent. So all this information that's expanding is growing. What COURE tries to do is to consolidate that information into a central place so that it makes it easier for startups, for large businesses who need access to that information to be able to get that data without
running all over the place and spending, half their resources and time on just data acquisition. So that's the primary thing. Excuse me. That's the primary thing that we are working on right now. And we're working on it not just in Nigeria, but across Africa as well. And it was kind of the seed program that helped to push us outside of Nigeria and West Africa to say, you know what, why not go after Africa at the same time? So that's the position that we're going after right now.
No, all right. Do you have any collaboration with any of your members in chasing this data plan?
Because of the uniqueness of our business, we actually have some of our members who may benefit from our business. A couple that we're looking to see the kind of data that they have to see if we can help them monetize it as well. So along with us acquiring data, the whole part of the benefit is that we help those who own the data monetize it. Monetizing it being able to make money from the data that they have. So if you have a lot of data that you're just storing, we can actually help you make it available to people who may need it so that they can make money from it, and then they can use it for their services and you can make money from it. So we do have some collaborations with a few of our cohort members or a few of our seed transformation members in different areas. Within the program, we do make a lot of referrals to each other for different services. But then as far as our specific business, we kind of focus on the data acquisition and those we can help monetize.
Okay. Seeing that, data acquisition and all of that is not the biggest thing in this part of the world, how challenging is this for you?
Exactly.
How challenging is it?
It's extremely challenging because the first part you have to convince those who own the data that it's okay to make the data available to you. We have to reassure them of all the data privacy laws and the data privacy processes that we follow through as far as our business model, because you're dealing with people's private information, so they're not always willing to give it out. So what we do is we make sure that we show them in our processes that we anonymize the data, which is we don't show the individual's names, we don't show things that can help identify the individual, but we give you enough information to provide the service you want to do. So the hardest part was just to convince them that we will be secure with the data, we will follow all the laws that are already established. And then you also have to convince them of the business model. So it is something relatively new. So convincing them of the business model that they will make money and they will be safe is also a really hard part of the business.
Okay. In Nigeria, virtually every day you hear, okay, we're moving into the digital space. We need all of the data that we want, all of the identity scattered everywhere of citizens in Nigeria. Do you have any kind of support or collaboration from the government?
No. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. Because we deal mostly with the telecom industry, we are getting some support from the regulator in that industry. But to be honest with you, we have tried to keep it on the private sector level because we figure if the businesses understand the business value, they can push on their side for the regulatory approvals that are needed to do the work, as opposed to me going through the government and kind of explaining and convincing them first and then coming back to the businesses. So our model has really been to focus on the businesses first, on the private sector first, and then have those private sector organizations follow up with the government. So we have some, but we don't really target the government at all, to be honest with you.
Okay, so when you talk about data and all of that, what exactly are we talking about? Are we talking about people's identities, or are we talking about patterns, and all of that? Can you please make that simpler?
A little bit of both. When we talk about data, and let me be real careful how I say this, we talk about some information. So, for example, one of the straightforward pieces of data that we manage is, and we partner with another organization who has the license to do this, is the location of your phone number. With number portability, phone numbers move across different telcos all the time. So in the beginning, when you wanted to, if you had moved or ported from one network to another, if a message was being sent to, if a bank alert was being sent to your phone number based on the code point being the 0803, 0809, 0805, or 0802 for the different telcos, you could easily move one of those phone numbers into another telco's network. So what we were providing was a way whereby, regardless of what network you were on, we could validate it and make sure that your message gets to where it needs to get to. So that kind of data, the number portability data, for example, is some of the information that we partner with the licensed organization who has that to make it available to value-added service providers, banks, and other industries, other organizations. And there's other data that we also look at, of course, as well.
Okay, let's talk about the impact of COVID-19 on your business. How has it impacted you?
Well, we are actually very thankful that because we're in the IT space, COVID-19 hasn't impacted us as much. We were actually preparing last year to enable our programmers and some of our staff to work remotely. So we had already put some policies in place for remote work. And so by the time late March, April rolled around when there was a lockdown, in essence, we just sped up the process and everyone picked up their laptops and went home. Our business operations also be with the clients that we have. They've also been fortunate that they've been able to continue their operations. We saw a little dip in a couple of the clients, but for the most part, they've been able to operate seamlessly. And I can say that because we're an IT company and most of our services are online or cloud-based services. So it didn't affect us as much, to be honest with you.
Okay. I think you'd be the best person to help us put some clarity on this. At some points, there was so much confusion about 5G being related to COVID-19. You want to slap this one down?
Yeah. It's from the studies and readings that I've done, it's not related to COVID-19 at all. If you think about it, one, here in Nigeria, we don't even have any 5G implementations. You understand? The only one that came even close was one of the bigger operators who was doing a test, so they haven't even turned it on. So if that's the case, if it was 5G related, then how come we're getting it in Nigeria and other parts of Africa? Then also, if it was 5G related, how is it spreading from one person to another? So, there's some things that go out on social media. Yes, there's a scare, but we definitely encourage people to do your research first, ask the experts in the industry. And then also at some point, use some logic and see if those things that are being said make sense. So, but 5G, as far as I know, is not related to COVID at all.
Okay. But you're also a member of the, should I say, Board of Trustees now of Stanford Seed. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes,
that's correct. I've been a trustee since the inception, and then I think I'm doing my second term now as a trustee for the board as well, for Stanford Seed Network.
Okay, so what's the future view for Stanford Seed, especially here in Nigeria?
Oh, the future view is to definitely extend and expand our impact and our influence, not just in the business community, but within the country as a whole. So whether it is by being able to influence or support positive government policies, or even positively impacting our communities. So to make sure that all our business members positively impact the communities that they're in, positively impact their staff and employees, because we figure that if we start from ourselves to improve our nation, there's no limit as to where we can go. We have our members who are national, as far as some of our members' businesses are only within the state, some are across the country, some across Africa, some are global. Even in our services that we have clients across the globe who use our services for Nigeria. So our members have a positive impact that they're putting out there in the industry, in the community, and that will help give Nigeria a better name with the way they run their businesses positively and profitably and honestly. That will also give us a better name in the community wherever we are. So our goal is definitely a positive impact in any environment that we find ourselves in. Excuse me.
Okay. The benefits now of being a part of this network. What are the benefits?
Oh, so some of the benefits, I mean, the first one that's the most impactful for all of us is just the network in itself. I've been in the room where, I mean, deals are being made between different businesses when they realize that a fellow cohort member or a fellow Stanford Seed Transformation Network member can meet all the needs that they've been looking for. And the fact that they've been in the program also helps build that trust, because you know that this individual or this individual's company has gone through a similar training that you've gone through. They have similar values that you have. So it's easier to build that business relationship. So the primary benefit is the networking. The second one I'll say would be the training and the additional coaching. The experience of the coaches, of the material that we have access to through training in partnership with Stanford Seed and the Stanford University. All those things help to build and solidify your business. And there's also no restriction as to how many members of your company can attend the program. So as long as they apply and they get in, you can send different members of your company. So all those trainings, all those networking opportunities, all that experience helps to build your company, which in turn can build the community that you're in. So those, I think, are the main, the key benefits and values of the program.
Okay.
Or of the network, rather, not just the program.
Okay. Do you have a physical space where you meet, and how often do you guys meet? To network.
We actually, well, yes, we do at different times. Before the protests were going on, as you know, we were having we'll meet after the radio show for breakfast.
Yes.
We have regular meetings, and where either we're doing trainings or we have what we call leadership labs. The leadership labs are opportunities where businesses can come and state what kind of issues they're having, and then other leaders can talk about it with them to help them resolve those issues. But then at the same time, because we're in 2020, I mean, we don't always have to be physical. So sometimes we log on to Zoom calls, our chat groups, our WhatsApp groups, rather, and we can discuss and focus on issues that we may be having as individual businesses. And we've done that so many times where we get onto a chat, start talking, and we're able to address and resolve a number of issues, either for an individual or even for an industry. And then those players in that industry can pick up from there with those ideas and move forward.
Okay. Let's say I'm listening to you right now and I'm thinking I want to be a part of this Stanford Seed network. What advice would you have for me?
Okay, well, the first thing I'll say is to go to the website, seed.stanford.edu, and look through what the qualifications and requirements are. The next thing I'll definitely look at is to see within your organization folks who are similarly minded, who may be able to go on the journey with you. The reason being, it's hard to come and try to change an organization or certain operations alone. So if you have some people or who can understand or who are on the same page as you that can go along with you on that journey, it will definitely make a bigger impact for when you come back and try to implement the things you've learned into your organization. But the first part would just be go to the site, see what the what the requirements are to be accepted into the program, and then from there look for people within your company who can join you on the journey.
Okay, you mentioned something about the suites program. Can you tell us more about that?
Okay, yeah, the suite program is Stanford Seed Nigeria Network initiative. And in essence, what we do is we provide trainings or mentorship from existing businesses, mentor or train young entrepreneurs who are trying to get into the industry or into various businesses. And we train them on different topics. I know a few weeks ago, your guest from last week, Nika Majikodumi, was training on social media impact. We've trained on finances, financial management. We've trained on operations or task management, project management. So there are different things that the Stanford Seed Transformation Network members volunteer their time and resources to train young entrepreneurs who are looking to start a business or expand on their businesses. So we help to train them or show them kind of ideas. The same way we've been mentored from our coaches, we try to pass that on to others as well.
I have a message here. This is from Emmanuel. Emmanuel says, good morning, Classic FM. Please, how can one be a part of a suite program?
Oh, the suite program. What we do, we normally send, if you can send an email to sorry, let me get the email address for you. But if you can send an email to our coordinator, in essence, she can add you to the list of members that we will send out the material to. So all you need to do is send us an email. If you go to the c.stanford.edu, when you register there, just put in there that you want access to the suite program, and they will get the information back to us. And then what we can do at that time is anytime there's a suite training coming up, we can make sure that you're included on the list to get access to it.
Okay. Does the Stanford Seed Transformation Network, does it face any challenge from the society? Does it face any challenges at all?
No, I'm not sure if I'm clear, but no, we don't have any challenges per se from the side. Do you mean if there are people who are against what we're doing, or
like
just our ability
operational,
to implement the programs that we're trying to implement?
Operational challenges, how you run it, and all of that, the kind of society it's in, and how people are reacting to it generally.
No. I think we're actually getting a very positive impact from the people we're working with, because we're sharing knowledge. When we're not, for the suite programs, we don't charge for them. It's really just an opportunity for us to share information. As far as challenges, there are normal business challenges that any organization would face in Nigeria, whether it's access to power or facilities that, to have your programs. But no, we don't have any particular challenges because we're the Stanford Seed Transformation Network.
All right. That's clear enough. Okay, please, once again, let us know how one can contact the Stanford Seed Transformation Network.
All right, so the easiest way is to go to seed.stanford.edu, register on the site, and fill in all the information clearly, of course, properly, and they will get that information back to us. And from there, we can follow up with you. Our administrator within the organization is very efficient, so she will be able to put together or follow up with you as far as adding you to the various lists and the various communities that you would need access to. So I think that'll be the easiest way to get in touch with us.
All right. Thank you very much, Uche Onwudiwe, Managing Director and CEO of COURE Software and Systems Limited, information technology and solutions provider. Before I let you go, Uche, last word, a few words for the listener.
A few words for the listeners. What I would say is definitely, if you're starting up a business, make sure it's one that you are interested in, one that you love, because that energy and drive will keep you going. Also, make sure you stick to your convictions, stick to your morals. Don't be willing to compromise your beliefs and your beliefs based on what you see in the environment. Stand strong, and also be flexible and willing to pivot. Sometimes you may start a business in one direction and then realize that what you want to offer, it may not necessarily be, its time. So be willing to pivot and be willing to even change your business model if necessary to survive. So I think that's the advice I would give everyone, especially those in business.
All right. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Stanford Seed Diaries, brought to you by Stanford Seed Transformation Network Nigeria, comes your way 8:30 every Tuesday morning here on TCM.